All right, everybody, it's an exciting one today. This is update number 3 for the Love's EV Charging Network series for November 21st, 2024, and we've got some sites opening. Let's just recap real quickly. The press release from Love's back earlier in the year showed these locations on their map, both some open and some coming soon. I continue to think that this map is pretty outdated and not all that accurate. So we're going to get into some more detail here in just a minute. I will continue to include this in the future. If they update it otherwise, I may pull it out of future videos. So since the last update, one thing that I missed on the last one that had happened the same week I published it was that some additional NEVI awards were made in Virginia at 5 sites: Lambsburg, Ruther Glen, Meadowview, Covington, and Bastion. And the big news of this week, of course, is that 2 sites have now gone live. Ripley, New York showed up yesterday live in the ChargePoint backend and app. And additionally, a representative of ChargePoint noted on PlugShare that it was open. You can see a picture of that installation over here on the right. Thanks to Steve over at Plug and Play EV for that photo. I cribbed it from him off of his YouTube community channel. So y'all give him a visit, Plug and Play EV, if you are not familiar with his channel already. You'll note that site doesn't have a canopy, which Love's has promised, so I'm curious if they're going to come back and put that in at a later date. Jonestown, PA also just went live today, so now we've got 2 of the newly announced sites going live. As far as I'm aware, construction continues at Waterloo, New York. This should say, but likely there are more sites, sleeper sites, as Walter over at the Network Architect channel calls them. Probably under construction, at least hopefully. I expect Waterloo is going to go live pretty soon based on the progress at Ripley and Jonestown. They all started construction about the same time. The last one is there was a new Love's site announced in Rock Falls, Illinois. This is an entirely new Love's installation. And a news article I found about that did mention that there would be EV chargers at that site, which falls in line with what they said about new Love's including them. Real quickly on pricing, the pricing at the new stations at Ripley, New York is 54 cents per kilowatt hour. That includes an 8% tax from New York. I'm going to flip you over to the ChargePoint map here and zoom into this one because I have not seen this before. If you pull into this site here and pull up the pricing on their app, you can see it's 50 cents per kilowatt hour and then an 8% New York sales tax. So I'm thinking this is going to come out to be about 54 cents a kilowatt hour. There's also a 99-cent session fee, which I am not a huge fan of, but it is what it is. The highest prices continue to be in California at the EV Connect stations. Some of those recently went to static rates, and the static rates were higher than the base rate during the lowest charging time. So I think I even saw one at $1.09 per kilowatt hour, which is wild. There's very, very little change from the other CPOs that I have seen so far. So again, this is just a look at the national site status. We got a grand total of 108 sites. 77 of those are awarded. We got 1 under construction. That's the one in Waterloo that we're aware of at least. 28 open now and 2 planned, although I believe that should say 3. I'll check my database next time to make sure I'm catching all of those. Again, if you're interested in looking at more detail on this map, I've got this online. I'll actually put the hyperlink to this in the notes below, and you can come in and explore these. A lot of people had asked for, interstate identifiers where these sites are. So I'm going to have them in tabular format, but you're welcome to explore this map as well. Again, going back to the sequence of construction, this is sorted from the oldest award date to the newest, and this only includes the NEVI sites, so you won't see some of the New York sites in here. So our first one that has a date of award and an open date is, of course, Jonestown. That was 463 days, which is eye-watering. That is a long time. I'm hoping some of these will move a little faster. So I expect to see the Pennsylvania sites go to construction soon, followed by Kentucky, Kansas, and Tennessee. And as mentioned, hopefully they'll go a little quicker. For those of you who love tables, here's real quickly the sites sorted by time zone. We got a whole bunch in the central time zone, 3 pages worth here. And you'll see this new Illinois site that is planned shows up in this list. I believe it's the only new one in the central time zone for this update. Then we got a couple of pages here for the Mountain Time Zone. And finally, Pacific. All right, thanks very much for watching, as always. I hope this is the beginning of a lot of activity on this network. Hopefully we'll have some more construction and openings happening coming up towards the end of 2024. If you got any questions or comments, of course, leave them below, and we will check you on the next one.